The philosophy when we prepare the pitch is to prepare a pitch which has good balance between bat and ball. So there's a good competition between bat and ball. It supports both batters and bowlers. Curators can prepare the pitch they want, but when you the atmosphere and the climate plays its own role. So if we do the same preparation in Lahore and Pindi, the atmosphere and the climate has its effects as well. There's a slight difference between Lahore pitch and the Pindi pitch. Lahore being slightly warmer, it cracked up too early, and Pindi pitch, the climate is slightly cooler than Lahore, so it's holding up a bit. That totally depends on the weather when we are preparing a pitch. So in this weather, we start our test pitch like 7-8 days before a test match, and in winters, obviously, this time increases. Everybody tries to get closer to the curator. Before the match, or away team, home team, everybody comes, wants to collect the information about the pitch, what went into the preparation. Everybody wants a piece of it.
Nouman Ali produces an absolute jaffa.
Spinners took a lot more wickets than the fast bowlers in the first match. Sometimes the pitches can be very flat in our part of the world, so we prepared it to have a good competition between bat and ball. If we prepare flat pitches, that gets too flat. There are some challenges while preparing a test pitch. Sometimes the extreme weathers, when it gets extremely cold or extremely warm sometimes. So the weather is the biggest challenge when preparing a pitch. Both can get hard, like in extreme cold it gets very difficult to bake a pitch, and in extreme hot it bakes up too quickly and then tries to open up too early. It is very satisfying when we see the results going our way and what we prepared for. So preparing a pitch for a good test match, it was very satisfying.
Yeah, the pitch creator there, just mentioning the factors that come into play when preparing a pitch. Of course, the climate was one of the things that he mentioned. It is looking different out there when you talk about that comparison to Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore, and the match is also looking quite interesting now on day 3. I've got with me Amir Sohail and Sean Pollock. Amir, great to see that there's been a good contest between bat and ball, and right now South Africa are 285 for 8. Pakistan got their share of wickets, and then we've seen a bit of a fight back. So interesting situation in terms of the match.
It has kind of hot up the situation, and the prospect of a test match going to the wire are very high, and it excites everybody. It has excited me as well, because that partnership was kind of a gloss over. When you talk about South African effort in this innings with the bat. I think that those 50-odd runs which are gathered by Muthusamy and Maharaj, they'll have a serious impact on this game.
Absolutely. I mean, if you compare both the teams, Polly, I mean, that's been the difference so far. You look at that lower order contributions from South Africa. What a wonderful partnership between Maharaj and quick too.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I must just add, I think this surface has been the better of the two, because there's been more. The batters have been able to bat on it, and I think it'll get more purchase and turn as the game goes on. We should still get a result. So for me, this has been the best one. Yes, that partnership has been fantastic. I mean, if you have to work it out, this partnership between these two is the same as 15 or 16 wickets for Pakistan at the death. When we looked at that chart this morning where they've got 17 for 5, 17 for 6, 17 for 5. So this is the fight you've got to show. Yes, he's thrown a bit of abandon to the wind, Keshav Maharaj, and I would hope he would go back into his shell just a little bit, still looking to score, looking to be positive, but he needs to now bat for Muthusamy. Muthusamy has done enough. He's deserved the right to say to the next two to bat, Keshav and to Kakisa Rabada, you bat for me now. I've got us into this situation. I've shown some resolve at the back end of the thing. I've got us back into this test match. You need to bat for me. Do not throw your wicket away. If you get a good one and you get out, no problem whatsoever. But do not throw it away. We can still make a contribution here and get ourselves really close to that first innings score of Pakistan.
Yeah, South Africa are sort of inching towards that total of Pakistan. But Pakistan had their share of opportunities as well. There were moments where they could have got more wickets, perhaps closed it out in terms of this innings, but couldn't really avail it. What do you put that down to?
I think, first of all, taking the second new ball was kind of esoteric for me. If you talk about Asif Afridi, who's making his debut, when he was asked to bowl for the first time in this test match, he did not get any purchase with slightly newish ball. And he started to turn the ball, and he started to get the reaction from the pitch with the older ball. And he was doing so well. And I don't know what prompted Pakistani captain to take the new ball. Yes, I know everything looks good in hindsight. If they hadn't taken the new ball, things would have been different. But talking about those drop chances, I think excitement plus the pressure that the South Africans are inching towards the total Pakistan achieved in the first innings. And you remember, I mentioned that for Pakistanis, they need to get 100 runs partnership because they haven't batted well in the second innings. So every run scored, it's bringing pressure, and they're faltering under pressure. They have missed so many opportunities.
I would say I'm very chuffed for Asif Afridi. I mean, you think at 38 in 300 days, how many test matches will he play? We don't know. This could be his one and only. It could be maybe 2 or 3. So for him to have come in at that age and have got 5 wickets, I was really happy. He was getting the South African wickets, so that didn't make me happy. But the fact that he got them made me happy. I thought he did a good job. 5 for 61 he sits with now, and maybe even the opportunity to pick up more. But having waited as patiently as he has, lovely to see him get some good wickets.
What's been the most impressive thing for you about Asif Afridi?
The control. You know, the control is associated with his style of bowling. He's kind of a specialist in shorter format of the game. Yes, the pitch started to respond to him. Once as a left-arm spinner, you bowl that quick and you get the pitch to respond to your style of batting, you become a nightmare for the batters. And he proved that by picking up 5 wickets with the older ball, and I still say taking the new ball was esoteric.
Especially when Asif Afridi was doing well. But you've got to give credit to the South African batters as well. You talk about Senaran Muthusamy. I mean, we saw what he can do with the ball in that previous test match, taking all those wickets. But then for him to score that 48, I mean, what did you like about his innings?
Yeah, we've got to remember, South Africa went in one with one batter shy. When I say one batter, one recognised top 6 batter. And Sen Muthusamy had to step up and do the role of that person. He's defended really well. I think that's been good, and he's got his own ways of scoring. He scored a decent rate, 48 of 84, so he hasn't just sat there. He's reverse swept, he's swept, and I thought he's played fantastically well. We talked about how he was an opening batter way back in the day, and he's had to develop his skills. But he's done some wonderful contributions for South Africa, particularly on the subcontinent. His technique may be more suited to playing here than it is in South Africa, where the ball bounces and he can maybe get himself into a bit of an awkward position. But his job's not done. He's got to 48. He needs to try and push on as many and squeak out as many as he can today.
You know, for me, the reason why Muthusamy was able to defend with so much confidence, he forced the ballers away from the lengths where he was uncomfortable with. You know, that reverse sweep, that slog sweep really worked in his favour.
Just in terms of his approach as well, you know, you mentioned reverse sweep, slog sweep. I mean, is that the way to approach? Because remember, Pakistan also has to bat next, and their last 5 batters haven't been doing well. You know, we've seen a bit of a collapse from them. But
see, one important thing to bat on a surface like this, you don't need to be explosive as a batsman. What you need to do is destruct the plans of the bowler. Once you're able to do that, you'll excel without any doubt.
In terms of the experience that he's got back home, you know, in domestic, I mean, has that had a role to play in the way he's shaped up as a batter, Muthusamy?
Yeah, he's had to move to a few provinces to get opportunities, and with that has often become leadership roles where you have to take on that responsibility. I think he's just a cricketer who's kind of worked it out. You know, there's no mess, no fuss with his bowling. It's just accuracy that he relies on, and he's now worked out how to go about his technique batting-wise to be effective, and we've seen results of that today. And as I say, I hope from his perspective that he goes on and gets a decent score. I mean, if you said to him, you're going to come here and you're going to get 11 wickets in the first test and maybe a really decent score second test batting-wise, he would have jumped at that. So he'll be keen to keep performing for the team.
He'll surely be a happy man. Now, in terms of the session after lunch, Ahmed, what does Pakistan need to come out with? What should their approach be?
Don't be frustrated. Just tell yourself, we are going to be there for at least an hour. And we have to get some sort of a lead. and be patient about it. If you try and pick up a wicket every delivery, you're bound to offer something to the batters. It's all about discipline and patience now.
Also, that second innings when South Africa is bowling and Pakistan is batting, that just becomes all the more crucial now in the context of the game.
Yeah, and I mean, Amir will attest it. The longer you stay out there or keep them out there, the worse it is. They get a little bit irritated. There's a short turnaround time, and now just going to be the 10 minutes where the last wicket falls. They run, put their pads on, come out. And having been in the field, it's hot. That can have an effect on the batters. It can affect the concentration, affect the mindset. So South Africa will be hoping for that. They'll also be thinking what's going to be most effective when they take the new ball, the first new ball in the second innings. How can they be more effective than what we've seen from Pakistan here?
I think the biggest worry for the Pakistanis when they come out to bat in the second innings, what sort of a total is going to be defendable? Because this pitch hasn't deteriorated. It hasn't yielded as yet. So to be able to decipher what sort of a total is going to be a match-winning one, it'll be a big one.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct when you talk about these conditions, because it hasn't played the way we saw it did play in Lahore. Definitely a lot better for batting, but again, full credit to South Africa for the way they've really sort of stuck it out there. Now, Pakistan is going to be looking for those last 2 wickets and then hoping that they can get that rather quickly as well, because remember, they have a second innings to come out and bat for, which is going to be really interesting. So all to play for in this test match. It's really nicely poised, and it's now over to the commentary box to take you through the rest of the action.